Hello, and welcome back to another Chris McPherson Show. Cricket Daily, a daily dose coming to you. We've got a bit of a global wrap across the women's game today, with Australia flexing their muscles and dominance in the Caribbean, and South Africa and New Zealand going toe-to-toe across the white ball formats. Make sure, as always, if you're enjoying the content, hit like on the video, hit subscribe on the channel, and get involved in the comments. Let us know who impressed you most in these two women's multi-format series, and what you're looking forward to on the upcoming women's calendar as we count down towards that T20 World Cup that is not far away now, just a couple of months. Of course, you can also catch our sports snippets on our social media channels. Best places, Instagram and TikTok. You can find us at The Chris Mack Show. We're also on Facebook and X. We'll be breaking it down for you, as always, the best performers, the breakout names, the question marks, concerns, and talking points. But let's get into it, and let's start with that Australian series against the West Indies. And it was a clean sweep for the Aussies, 3-0 in the T20s, 3-0 in the one-days, 6-0 across the tour. Dominant, but certainly not without a few blemishes and talking points, I think it's fair to say. In terms of the best performers, well, it's hard to go past Alana King. She was the player of the T20 series. She was completely dominant with the ball, bamboozling with her spin. And then just to add some icing on the cake, bagged 5 for 19 in the final one-dayer only a couple of days ago. It was match-winning. It was elite spin bowling, and it is why she is the best spin bowler, I think, that's come out of Australia in recent times. I know that's probably disrespectful a little to Nathan Lyon, but I'm going to put it out there. But certainly in terms of leg spinners, but possibly spinners in all, she's up there with Gary and Shane Warne and the like in terms of her influence for Australia. But we'll wait and see. Spin bowling not quite as valued at the same level in the women's game just yet, but I am an absolute unabashed Alana King fan. Completely controlled games in this series throughout the middle overs and was a dominant wicket-taking force. Next up, Phoebe Litchfield. She was player of the one-day international series. Calm, composed. She anchors the chasers just so brilliantly when you have a look at it. She's such a strong contributor for the Aussie batting lineup. A young gun with so much promise in front of her, and you only have to look 191 runs across those 3 games at an average of 95.5. She is absolutely huge. We also talk in terms of the women's T20s. Beth Mooney, always strong. She picked up 79 in the opening T20 when things were really shaky for the Aussies. Her experience and reliability is still, now with the departure of Alyssa Healy, very much the glue at the moment that is sticking this team together when the going gets tough. 2 cornerstones of that top order for Australia, Mooney and Litchfield. Of course, Elise Perry, she's continued to deliver in the big moments as well, and she's been strong for the Aussies. We know that she can certainly do some key pieces. From a bowling point of view, it's hard to go past, as I said. Obviously, Alana King. Ash Gardner is always a contributor as well in the other forms. She was strong in those one days, leading wicket taker for the one-day series, taking 7 wickets at an average of 15.3. In terms of the breakouts and the emerging stars, well, Georgia Vole certainly put her hand up with a big T20 series. She was quite key and showed lots of aggressive intent at the top. Need to see a few more runs and a little bit more consistency, but she's adding a new dimension and a new power to the Aussie power play, that is for sure. And then Georgia Wareham, she's quietly effective. She mixes things up a little bit. She's got the control. She's got the finishing ability, and her role clarity appears to be improving a little bit series by series, but it's all about how Australia can juggle all of our spinners into one side, and that is the question. In terms of concerns and talking points from an Australian point of view, fielding lapses early, multiple drop catches in game 1. They did get better, but when they're playing the top sides like the New Zealands, the Englands, the Indias, that is going to hurt them, and they're going to find themselves in trouble as that gap continues to close and sides continue to catch them. That needs to improve. Fielding has got to be at the top of the trick sheet for Australia ahead of that T20 World Cup. Sophie Molyneux, her role clarity. Her captaincy role certainly evolving since she's been appointed as the full-time captain. But what exactly is going to be her on-field impact? She's clearly still carrying some injury, still clearly not fully fit. She's not really bowling, hardly batting. I think she needs to get her fitness right and allow someone else to captain the side until she is fully fit and ready to rock and roll. I love her leadership ability, but again, you can't be in the side just as a designated captain who's barely batting or bowling. And for the West Indies, the gap between their top players and the next few is absolutely huge. The likes of Hayley Matthews, Deandra Dotton, certainly leading the way. Stephanie Taylor as well. It's sort of those top three. And then once you get past players 6 and 7, there is a huge dearth in gap of talent. And that's something that the West Indies need to build on if they want to be competitive against the top nations. At their best, when their top players fire, they are right in a contest. But they can't be doing it every game, game in, game out. And that's a big hole. The takeaways, Australia, that depth is there. The flexibility is there. We just need to work out our best 11 as we go towards the World Cup. Ruthless execution there most of the time. But even when slightly off, they were miles ahead of the Windies. The Windies, too heavily reliant on a few key players. Depth is going to be the key over the next 5 years or so. That flips us on to New Zealand and South Africa. New Zealand took out the T20 series. They took out the ODI series. They were the stronger side across both. Plenty of back and forth in games, and there was games where South Africa looked like they were getting the upper hand, and New Zealand just turned the screws in both the one-dayers and the T20s. An extra couple of games for them with the 5 T20s. The best performers for mine, well, we'll start on the South African side, and it's hard to go past Laura Vulvaat. She led from the front, consistent runs across both formats. She is South Africa's go-to. We know that. She's an absolute star. But again, we need to see a little bit more from the rest of the team. She can't carry everything. She's an anchor innings each time South Africa needed stability. She averaged 51, I think it was, in the ODIs. But again, a lot of expectations sitting on her shoulders, and she can't do it alone. For the Kiwis, Amelia Kerr, all-round impact. She's New Zealand's most reliable match winner. She got wickets. She got runs. 215 runs in the one-dayers. 276 in the T20s. So you throw that together, almost 500 runs, plenty of wickets, plenty of economy too. She was one of the tightest bowlers going at less than 5 and over in the one-dayers. And, adds so much value as well in the field. Sophie Devine, she's a key contributor for New Zealand in their one-day side, especially a big moments player who knows how to step up when the pressure is on. In terms of the breakouts, well, I was really impressed with Nadine de Klerk. She was really good, genuine all-round influence, some key wickets and some finishing runs as well. She looks like she's certainly got the ability to be an elite white ball finisher in the future, and certainly one to watch. The other one for me, Fran Jonas, controlled spin spells, really positive, really building, still developing, but I think there's some serious upside there. In terms of our concerns and talking points, New Zealand, their inconsistency. Peaks and troughs, if Devine and Kerr didn't fire, there was a lot of a gap there in terms of that next level of talent. Certainly some cameos, certainly some players putting their hands up at different points. Leah Tahuhu, Jess Kerr as well, but again, not consistently enough. We need more consistency across the squad from New Zealand if they want to be competing with Australia, England and India on a regular basis. South Africa, a big gap in their middle order, a drop-off once Vulvaat would get out early. They needed so much reliance on her, and that's where they need to expand that depth and squad. And the finishing issues. Both teams left runs out there, couldn't accelerate late, couldn't close with wickets either after getting good starts. Capitalising on momentum is a key piece for both of these teams if they want to get into that top echelon of women's white ball cricket on the regular. South Africa, they were structured, top order driven with some emerging bowlers, that's for certain. A few little blemishes, but a few little spotlights as well that look positive with their tail. But again, no consistency. New Zealand, a high upside, especially if Amelia Kerr and Sophie Devine are firing. Less consistent than I would have hoped on home soil, and both still chasing the likes of Australia and India. But that is it. Australia remain the benchmark. That is for certain. England and India will be right there when we get to the World Cup. South Africa are building depth and identity, but I don't know if they're going to have the time. The West Indies look well short. New Zealand, dangerous. And if they can fire on their day, will go a long way. But the consistency needs to be there when it comes to the big tournaments. But that's your Cricket Daily. Women's game front and centre. Australia laying down a serious marker. South Africa and New Zealand shaping as smokies and challengers. If you enjoyed it, make sure to like the video. Hit subscribe on the channel and follow along as we bring you more cricket and other sports. And of course, you can catch all of our social media content at The Chris Mack Show on your favourite social media platforms. And until the next one, a huge thank you to you for tuning into your home of the black and white of sports. No grey opinions here.